Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Hi, I hope everybody is fine out there. My name is Sharon Eccleston, and I'm the author of Where the Light Flows In and also In the Presence of Light. I am ecstatic to be with you today, and I am looking forward to any questions and the conversation that we can have together. At this time, I have two poems, one from each book that I would like to read to you. But if there's any questions, I would love to answer them. Okay, so far, no. So I will read the first one, and it's going to be from my first book, which is Where the Light Flows In. This book came out at the end of 2021, and it was my debut, of course, and it's very near and dear to my heart. Sometimes you don't know what you have in you, and this writing came by, I didn't see it coming, but I pursued it, and hi, Ethan, how you doing? I'm glad you're back too, Ethan. Yes, I know you. How you doing? Okay. Um, okay. Let me start with The Little Red Cardinal. And this book, sometimes nature talks to us if you're really in tune. And it so happened to me, it happened about, I would say 2020 is when this happened. As I said, the book came out 2021, the end of 2021. And I was so startled by this little fella, and he was quite bold. And the incident stayed with me. And this is a poem I wrote about it. Okay. Um, the Little Red Cardinal. My thoughts were so distracted as I started getting out of the car. Though my body was present, my mind was busy with life, and so was very far. Then all of a sudden, I saw just above my head something that seemed quite erratic. A fire-colored little bird had landed on a line with such drama and acrobatics. There was a full-leaf tree just feet away. I believe that was his intended destination. However, he seemed to dismiss it and doubled back to sit and give me his bold consideration. He was a scruffy little thing and looked like he had just hopped out of a bird bath, barely dried. Twitched he did as he looked down at me, cocky and sure like he was some mystical guide. I smiled, and that seemed to meet some accordance with him. It was then that he started to sing. Listen to me, is what he seemed to say. Take heed of the melodic counsel that I bring. Let me tell you what I have discovered as my little wings have taken me from east to west. Open your mind to all that I have to impart to you. And so I stood still and acquiesced. He said, dominion you were given, pay it forward with the gravity it deserves. Make the right choices, and life will surely flow. Select what must be preserved. Great fear and aggravation have I felt, deliberate dishonesty and division. Think not only about yourself, but for others provide the selfless provision. Make the move. Don't wait to be asked. You were created to do good works. Measure and balance what it is you effect. Be wise with the posture and power that you exert. Do not amass your valuables on earth. Send your treasures heaven bound. Listen and watch closely where you tread. Be careful of the world-made crown. Embrace and love who you were made to be. Fit in your skin like a glove. You will build on your own self-worth, and it will keep you standing when push comes to shove. Lead with compassion and kindness. Have a healthy respect for life's depth and brevity. Let your presence bring an instant smile to others. Exude warmth, truth, and levity. I'm sorry. With that, he twitched once more and turned. It seemed he had conveyed all he needed to say. And there came a breeze that caught his little wings, and he abruptly just flew away. As if in a daze, I shook my head and watched the departure of this tiny red-feathered minstrel. It was then I noticed that the atmosphere had changed. It was now filled with specks of sparkle and tinsel. What did it all mean? I pondered carefully, and then the answer came in focus as if in 3D. That all 5 inches of him, perched precariously on a thin wire line, was complete in simple dignity. I think nature makes it very simple for us. Hi, Carolyn. And we have to be certain who we are and walk in that. We have to be mindful that we need to care and be responsible for people, okay? And to give back and be aware of the brevity in life, okay? And the levity that we need to give and show who we are and not be afraid. And look at who other people and accept who they are, you know. So this was very special to me, and that was from my first book, Where the Light Flows In. Let me just show you the book again. I'm sorry. Where the Light Flows In. My second reading, if this will stay up, is from my second book, In the Presence of Light. And this one I called This Earthen Vessel. We're here for a purpose. We're here to do good. We want more poems. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. God bless you. And this earthen that's how we experience life. Yes. Thank you, Mia. Thank you so much. And this earthen vessel, I thought about myself, things that I was going through, doubts, stopped and asked who I was, and took it down little by little, and I feel all of us is the same way, and I came up with this. I hope you like it. And as I said, it's in the second book, In the Presence of Light, and it's called This Earthen Vessel. And here we go. This earthen vessel, a marvel in its own frame, exquisite but not self-reliant. Though reliable, it has requirements. For its best range and motion, there should be sustaining acquirements. This earthen vessel, its value unfathomable. What it's made of, unchangeable. How it weathers, remarkable. Its capacity, amazingly expandable. This earthen vessel, how long can it be viable? Is its lifespan foreseeable? I will tell you that it wears better with appreciation. I would advise that tender care must be a consideration. Impress upon you that it is the framework for future generations. This earthen vessel is solid and true. It has the tenacity that can pull you through. Undoubtedly, there will be some imperfections, but do not see these as reasons for disqualification, for they are proof of its tried and tested authentication. This earthen vessel is one of a kind. Be always conscious to keep that in mind. You'd be foolish to discount its infinite value. Magnificent and resilient, this earthen vessel is you. And I think everybody needs to own that. We are tremendous as human beings, what God put in us. And we need to realize that, walk in that, and believe it. It's so important, And we are vessels. What we pour in, what we help people get through, We're carriers, we're givers. So, it's just another perspective of how we can see ourselves in what we do every day, every day, So I hope you guys liked it. What motivated me? Hi, Cassandra. I didn't see this coming, Cassandra. This came quite by accident. As I shared before, we had a very good family friend who had this charity that helped kids. And every Easter, she would have this big extravaganza fundraising. And they had a journal, and we would take a page in the journal. And every year we would write something. And the first few years, we memorialized my mom, my dad, family members that we just wanted to memorialize on paper. And that's what we put in the journal. As time went by, we thought of other things to say. And in 2016, my sister asked me to talk about friendship. And I wrote a poem and we put it in the journal. And I got a lot of compliments and it made me think. And lo and behold, I had sent it to Library of Congress for copyright. And I don't know how it works, but I think some publishers can go on that line and see certain things. I'm not sure, so don't quote me. But a publisher called me and they said, we saw you had something and would you like to publish it? I said, yeah, I want to publish it. And they said, well, you need at least 12 poems. And I said, well, okay, how am I going to write 12 poems? But it happens. The first book didn't get published until, like I said, the end of 2021. But those were 14 poems. And after I finished it, I still had so much more inside of me. In fact, I had started writing the second book even before the first was published. So it came right behind each other. The second book came out in 2023 of March. So, and I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again because it's so true. You don't know what you have inside of you. Really, look into yourselves and take that quiet time. It's there. I if you notice, yeah, I'm getting better at speaking. I'm always so nervous, but writing, I express myself better. So with time it came, and I wanted to say things just right. I didn't want to just put something, okay, I got a book out. No, I really tried to give a variety in each book of life. We're all going through it, family, friends, jobs, relationships, so it's a little of everything in there. A lot of me, but I try to put it in a way that um, makes it a happy story, or at least an interesting story, or something that's relevant to us all. That's the key, and have a little bit of encouragement and courage, you know, you know, um, encouragement and courage, because it takes that, it really does. You can do it. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I felt that when I wrote it. And as I said, that was real. That's not something that, well, how I perceived it is what I wrote. But I did have an encounter with this little red bird, and he literally, I'm not exaggerating, I'm not joking. When I pulled up the car, his back was towards me on a line like over the fence, and he turned around, and he just started, and I'm like, yeah, oh, really, but that's what happened. And so this is my interpretation of what he was telling me, but nature does that for us, I believe. Mm. Oh, Carolyn, thank you so much. Carolyn, I try, I try. Um, Yesterday when I was on, I gave a little background. I took English Lit, and I only happened on English Lit because it really was the least credits that I needed to take bachelor's. But God has a way of stepping into your life. I didn't know that then. I just wanted something I could get an undergrad. But I loved hearing, the poets and the writers, how they talked, and putting their words together, being so mysterious. But I had no back then, nothing about poetry. I just wanted to get an undergrad. But you don't even know that certain things stay. There's some residue. And so when this journal came up, and I I I found out that there was some writing ability. Thoughts. That came out. It's so funny that I just, as I said, this is an Easter. It's every Easter, this particular journal fundraising. And my sisters came to me again, and I just wrote something that's going to be in this year's journal. And it's just 6 lines, but it's just my thing of saying, and the title is If We Really Want to. And I have what I hope is 6 impactful lines. Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Riley. I'm going to keep on trying, Riley. I'm going to, and in every book, I'm on my third, but I'm hoping by the end of this year to finish the third book. And after every book, I try to do better. That's always the goal, trying to do better, and helping others, because what we're living in now, it's really crazy, and we really have to be supportive and loving to each other. And you too have a gift, a talent, I am sure, that we can use it to help, you know and not hurt. you know I think it's just too much of that. Oh, Stephanie, and that darkness is getting darker and darker. I have started, and I'm 66 now, and I've seen some things. I've worked in the private industry, and I've worked in the public industry. Oh God, two different places. I've had my relationships as well as family stuff, as we all do. You have. I would say it has to start with you. You are going to know after your experiences what you're going to allow and what you're not going to allow, uh, and what you're not going to inundate yourself with. You don't have to be mean, but you set your boundaries, and um, you give what you can. I think it's a must, and you try. I'm not saying as soon as somebody look at you sideways or act silly, you dismiss them. You give as much as you can, but then afterwards, they're going to have to learn on their own. You may not be the one to teach them, but you can pray for them. You really can, and you can hope the best for them. But you do your part. You do your part. I think that's how we get out the light. A lot of us just say, well, I don't need to be bothered with that. But sometimes we do, because some people are hurting, and your smile or your time you take out to even exchange a word with them may make such a difference. So you do your part, and as long as you know that you've done that, I think that is definitely helping to bring light. You know, but I think too many of us say, I don't want to be bothered. I don't need to, Hi, Chila. I was every time in your writing journal where you hesitated. Oh, did I hesitate? I remember the first one. I remember I was up 4 o'clock in the morning, and I said, I'm not going to put this stuff out. I said, this is crap. This book? And it, because it was my first, I was nervous, but I didn't get any real challenges. I was making my own challenges. I was in my head, and I was saying, oh no, I can't do this, and I had to push myself. I had to. Where I met outside challenges and things coming up against me every step of the way was the second book. I'm sorry, was the second book. Oh my goodness, it came out of the woodwork. But every time I sat in a quiet place with God, and I said, I know I can do this, and I'm not going to stop, because it's what, as I said before, is what you allow. The buck stops at you. It really does. And if you don't push and pull yourself, it's not going to happen, and I'm not saying anything, because I have people that love me and everything. However, when, as my poem said, when push came to shove, it was me. I'm not trying to not give them credit, but bottom line, it's you know, and you have to know yourself, and sit with yourself, and find that, if you haven't already, that's key, because questions will be asked, and you have to back yourself up, or at least know that you know what you know about you and what you're writing, um that's how I see it, and like I said, it took a lot of years. I At 60, I'm 66. Yeah, yeah. um Excuse me. Yeah. So it's not easy, and I've made my share of errors. Let's put it that way. My share of errors. Hi, JP. Okay, good question, JP. Well, I always wanted to stay in the theme of light. That's where the light flows in comes from. And from the very first, in my spirit and everything, I just felt light, 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 salt and light. So I stayed with light. And the second title, In the Presence of Light, my church every year, my pastor gives us a word that we're going to um, think about, and go through the year thinking about God, and so forth. And that year it was presence. And I said, well, okay, I'm staying with light. Okay. And I want to use the word presence. So I came up with in the presence of light, and it was so good. It was so good. It matched with with the poems that I have in the book. It's 15 poems in the second book. And it just worked. It just worked, and that's how I came up with it. The third book would also have the word light in it, the theme of light. And it's coming. So I'm not going to give you the title right now, but maybe by the end of the year it should be out. If not, the beginning of next year, God willing. So that's the plan, family. That's the plan. Hi, John. How do I capture it? I will tell you honestly. Sometimes I go to sleep and things come up. I have a prayer group many times. I have two prayer groups, and I listen. I take my spiritual courses. My church offers a lot of spiritual courses, and I take them. Um, and whatever resonates in me with whatever they're saying, and it doesn't just have to be, from my church or anything. It could be life. Like the other day, my sister, we were coming from someplace, and she told me, and this is something to come in the third book. At least I hope it'll get in the third book. She said, you got to come home with me because I have a plant in the basement that it just won't do anything. And the first thing came to my head is, why do you have a plant? I know her basement. I mean, well, let's leave it at that. I said, my thing, why do you have a plant in the basement? And so after I went to her house, I said, bring the plant up and put it in the kitchen. And about 3 days later, she called me. She said, oh my God. She said, what a difference. And she said, it seemed to have perked up the whole house too. I said, yes. And that is a title. I hope, because a lot of times I get ideas like that. And then when I try to flesh it out, it doesn't come full, or at least I can't do justice to it. And I won't do a poem unless I can do justice to it. But right now, the poem is going to be uh, flowers in the basement, and it's going to be around, why do you put something so precious? And I'm using simulation here because we could be talking about people, that you put them in a place and they need to come out. So it's so much perspective we can use, okay, with that analogy, So I come up with it through life, through prayer, through life. Um, in the first book is my walk and how I got where. Oh my goodness, in the chat. I'm sorry. 1 second, guys. Oh, did I miss it? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna wind up now. But yeah, I talk about my spiritual journey in the first book, and it's called As I Walk. As I walked, and the things that happened to me, and how I got to where I am today. Um, if I say so, I'm very delightful, very real, and I was very down to earth. But I invite you, please, to go to my website, and it's on the crawl there, and just check me out. And if you have any questions, you can email me. And I just want you to know I so appreciate you, the questions that you asked, and you know that you have encouraged me today. Truly, I thank you. Thank you. Mm. Any more? Oh, okay. I guess I have more time. If there's another question, I'll take it. Anything? But uh, there's a lot more information about me and where I hope to be going. There's events that I was at with my books. Um, I was in Miami the other day at the college there, and it was great. It was a wonderful experience. Okay. But I wish you all the very best, and I hope that you too will do what God has gifted you to do. I know it's in all of you, in all of you.